Hi guys, how's it going? I hope you're doing well. Happy Friday. Let me know what your plans are for the weekend. Today we're going to talk a bit more about Saturn entering into the sign of Aries because that's going to be a big one, and that's going to happen on the 24th of May, so in a couple of days. And Saturn in Aries isn't here to play, it's here to like strip away the excuses, and it's only going to demand us one thing, and that is, are you ready to lead your own life? The transit is about radical responsibility, real courage, and also building something that actually lasts. Saturn is about endurance. So no more waiting for clarity, no more performing. It's time to show up for ourselves, and also to do that with fire, focus, and a plan that actually works over a long time. So let's break down what Saturn in Aries is really asking of us, so you don't have to survive it, so you can own it. So stay with me until the end of this video. I will walk you through Saturn in Aries for each of the 12 rising signs, so you can see exactly where this energy lands in your chart, and also how you can prepare it and how you can work with it. And also we'll start by breaking down the core meanings of Saturn and Aries, and also what it means when Saturn is in fall, because when Saturn is in fall, he's in a place that he doesn't like to be. So yeah, it has a little bit more of a difficult manifestation. And also why this transit will test our ability to really lead ourselves first. Aries is the sign of the self, it's a sign of the identity, and Saturn is about maturity, responsibility, and also yeah, growing over time. And that will be a big test for us all that is like coming forth right now. So we're also going to look a bit at the timing, at the historical patterns of Saturn and Aries in previous cycles. Another important aspect is that Saturn will be conjuncting Neptune soon as well. So that is like a whole other vibe that is being added, like a whole deeper layer of what's about to go down in March 2026. And we're also then going to look at the house by house effects for each and every zodiac sign. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I also offer personal astrology sessions. I've linked it in the description box below if you want to book that. And we're gonna look at, hey, Hannah. Hannah said, yes, I'm curious because I was literally ill today from strange people on the street that were like reacting towards Hannah. Yeah, I totally understand Hannah, and like, yeah, Aries is the sign of reaction, and Saturn is going to test our ability to not react to certain situations. Saturn is about growing up. So, yeah, a lot of people who are going to react from this immature behavior, they're going to really face a lot of karmic tests and blocks. So, just be grateful, Hannah, that you're not one of them. And Mim Jack says, morning, there's a forest wildfire in my backyard. Oh my God, Mim Jacks. Greer fire in Apache County, Arizona. The wind hasn't been helpful. Oh, that is so terrible to read, Mim Jacks. I'm really hoping that they're able to put it out fast, so your house is saved. So many fires. And that's also partly due to Aries, because Aries is the first fire sign of the zodiac. And a lot of things have been going down in the sign of Aries. So, and then Mars in the sign of Leo isn't helpful for that as well. So yeah, a lot of fire at the moment. So we're gonna start looking at the first slide. So Saturn, it's like discipline meets instinct. Saturn is the planet of discipline, and Aries is the sign of instinct. So Saturn in Aries will challenge us all to act with purpose and not on impulse. Aries is rather impulsive, does not have a lot of patience. Saturn is the planet of patience. So yeah, that's like a clash. That's why Saturn is in fall. And that's why all our patience will get tested. And yeah, me as an Aries, I don't have a lot of patience. So the fact that Saturn is going to enter that sign, it's going to test me for sure. But It's also about leadership, maturity, identity, and also the fire gets this new type of focus. Saturn is about focus, discipline, endurance, and sometimes fire can go wild. And now there will be some kind of structure added to the fire. It's going to teach us how to lead ourselves first. It's courage with structure. It's the warrior's test of maturity. So yeah, no more waiting, no more wishing. Saturn in Aries really demands bold, disciplined action. Aries is the sign of action. So yeah, it will have a lot of pros and cons, and I'm gonna try to break it down step by step. Also, personal responsibility is going to be this new rebellion. Saturn in Aries resets how we lead, and also is going to reset our leadership at the global stage very profoundly. So it's like forge our identity through effort. It's a call to really build and not to burn out, because Aries, it wants to start all these new things, but sometimes it's difficult to complete for an Aries. And now Saturn on the pro will help us complete our things that we start and our passion projects that we want to ignite right now. So that is actually a pro of Saturn in Aries. And it's also spiritual awakening through structured action. And it's not just about starting things, it's about like finishing strong. So Saturn in Aries is going to help us with structure and endurance, which can be quite helpful if you're a little bit impatient like myself. So the most impacted signs are, of course, Aries, because Saturn is going to move into your sign. And also, of course, Capricorn and Aquarius, because Saturn is your chart ruler. So whenever your chart ruler is on a move, you're impacted by that greatly. And of course, all the cardinal signs, they will receive a square by Saturn and also Neptune. So yeah, that can be a little bit challenging. And that's, of course, for Cancer, Libra, Capricorn. Of course, Libra will receive an opposition and not a square. And the last time Saturn was in Aries, that was 1996 until 1999. So that was also a very, very striking time for a war in Iraq, and also very striking time for the Middle East. And Neptune and Saturn, because they are going to be together, and if we look at historical cycles, they are also connected to genocide. That's why we've been seeing what's been happening in Gaza as well. Saturn and Neptune together in Aries, and Aries is a sign of war, of conquering, of pioneering, of wanting to be first. It can be about stealing the land. So it's something that we're going to see more often during the next 3 years. And when Saturn and Neptune also come together, they're also linked to real pandemics. So not something that I want to manifest or want to put out there, but yeah, it's been connected with the Black Plague and other very serious diseases. And the Saturn Neptune will come together. They will perfect in March of 2026. And I've made like a whole video about the Saturn-Neptune conjunction. I've linked it down below. It's called Buckle Up. This is the event that is going to change everything. So if you want to go watch that, I go deeper into Saturn and Neptune together. Today, I'm going to try to focus a bit more on Saturn in the sign of Aries. Just know that there's a very, very important conjunction coming up. So think about 1996 to 1999, what happened in your life during this time. I cannot really reflect on that because I was 1 year old then. So yeah, I don't have a lot of memories about that. But this year, we're going to see a sneak peek of Saturn in Aries, because he will jump in Aries on the 24th of May. But Saturn, of course, will go retrograde on the 1st of September. So then it's going to dip back into Pisces, and it's going to wrap up this final ending, because since 2 days ago, Saturn has been on the 29th critical degree of Pisces. And that is like the final ending of the zodiac wheel. So each and every one of us is going to have to deal with some kind of big ending in their lives, depending on where Saturn is currently traveling in your natal chart. So this year we're getting a sneak peek. Next spring for the Northern Hemisphere, it's going to fully move into Aries, and then it will get going together with Neptune. So yeah, very big cosmic reset where vision really meets action. And I've also put it in a title because it's not only structure, Saturn, it's also putting structure to a new vision and our dreams and dreams manifesting through reality. It's all part of Neptune as well. So there are so many more cosmic deeper layers through this transit that it's actually, it's going to be a very, very interesting time, definitely on a global level as well. A lot of changes are ahead of us. So, yeah. Let's look a little bit more about what Saturn really means. So Saturn is duty, responsibility. It is the limits, the boundaries, and like you already, if you know, have a little bit feeling with astrology, it's going to conjunct Neptune. Neptune doesn't have any boundaries. Neptune is limitless. It is boundless. It is wholeness. It is like everyone together as one. And Saturn is like, no, here is the boundary. Here is the limit. You can't go any further than this. So Saturn is what comes in and what doesn't come in our material domain. And Saturn refrains, limits, and denies things. Saturn is very karmic and it can be all or nothing. So Saturn can deny you something, put a block on it, or it can give you a lot of it, too much of it, to like really show you what it really means. So for example, I have a natal Saturn in Pisces. So I've actually just went through my Saturn return and I'm like completing it now. But Saturn in the 6th house, the 6th house is work. The 6th house is also health, daily routine, service towards others. So I've actually had to deal with a lot of health problems back in the day, and that really refrained me from working full time. So I had too much health problems and it put a block on my ability to work. So Saturn can give you a lot of harsh things to work on, and it can thereby deny you of other things. So it teaches me how to take proper care of my health. And now that my health is back in order, I have this Saturn return that I'm wrapping up, and there was a long period where I couldn't go to work, and now all I do is work. So Saturn is also very karmic, and it's like Saturn can be all or nothing, and it's like now giving me this feeling that I have to make up or make a karmic adjustment for the past time that I wasn't able to work. So Saturn is karma and also fulfilling our duties. So yeah, it can be a little bit, little bit tough to work with. Saturn, Granddaddy Saturn, he's a very, very strict teacher. So Saturn in Aries. Aries is a sign of war. So whenever I see Saturn moving into Aries, I think about conscription, like having to, you're going to be forced to go to war in some countries. Because Saturn is obligations. Saturn in Aries, Aries is war or conflict. We're going to see a lot of debates and restructuring about laws regarding to war and conflict as well. There is also, then in other countries, it's going to act like a lot of resistance to go to war. And a lot of people will refuse to fight. A lot of people deserting. A lot of anti-war protests as well. And when something comes up in your country, maybe some of you are going to be forced to go somewhere else. Aries is pioneering. It's about taking your backpack and just going out solo, because it's going to manifest in a lot of people who know what's truly going on, and they're not wanting to go fight their war. It's not their war. So a lot of people have been forced to go out on their own and head out somewhere else. Aries is a sign that just goes their own way. Aries does not like to be told what to do. And Saturn and Aries can also manifest in being forced to rely on yourself. Saturn can be very harsh. Neptune is empathy and compassion. whenever Saturn and Neptune are going to meet, there can be a lack of compassion, a lack of empathy, a feeling like you need to do things on your own. More difficult to find help. And it can also manifest in the area of certain government structures breaking down, and by that needing to rely on ourselves, because Saturn is also the government. So yeah, and it won't manifest in such a terrible way for anyone, for everyone, but I think we will all feel its influence, of that transit on some level in our lives. So the duty falls on the self, Saturn in Aries, taking responsibility for your own actions. Saturn in Aries can be very authoritarian as well. Saturn in Aries can be the dictator. So Saturn is the one in authority. And Aries can get quite aggressive because it doesn't want to be, not wanting to be told what to do, and a lot of resistance to that. So and we all know that the strong men, they aren't afraid of anyone. You can look at it as the boss archetype as well. So just know that in some countries there will be some refraining attitude towards conflict and war, which can be quite positive. On the other hand, some countries are gonna forge fully into war. It will depend greatly on the type of leadership that is currently ruling the country. So if you look at the world leaders, they are already behaving in a very Saturn Aries way. So it will depend on which type of leader and how this aspect or how this transit is going to be aspected in their natal birth chart. So whenever we see squares or very harsh conjunctions, we know that it can be a little bit more hard. So Aries is me. It is self-expression. It is like doing or saying things that we want to do or say, like having no filter, wanting to be ourselves, our unique, wanting to shine out our unique independence as well. It's the first sign of the zodiac. It is the self, so it wants to be free like a child. Saturn in Aries can also mean restrictions from authority figures in the Aries domain. So maybe the government putting restrictions and saying that you can't just be yourself. You can't say that, you can't do that. Censorship is all going to be a big theme as well. So yeah, not really something to look forward to, but if you know what's going on, you can like be an extra Aries warrior and just say what you want. Like the true spiritual warriors are going to be those who are going to stand up and speak for themselves regarding the consequences, regarding what hierarchy or people above them think of that. So the time of wishing, waiting, and sitting on the couch and manifesting, meditating without speaking up, that time has passed. It's going to be over. Now it's those who get off the couch, stand up, and speak for themselves that are going to be the true spiritual warriors from now on. So yeah, it will be very, very interesting to see how that will play out. So let's look a little bit at the chart. Here we can see Saturn crossing over 0 degrees of Aries. 0 degrees of Aries is the world point axis. Whenever planets hit 0 degrees of Aries, a lot of global important things take place. So yeah, a whole new era marked by visionary action, spiritual courage, and also the disciplined pursuit of your authenticity. And it will get challenged, guys. So please stay yourself, stay true to yourself. Even if they try to limit you, try to block you, just fight back harder, but in a mature way. Saturn is the builder, it is the taskmaster, it's endurance, boundaries, responsibility, and then Neptune is the dreamer and the dissolver. Neptune rules over inspiration, over illusions, compassion, and also spiritual truth. And now they're meeting in Aries, the bold warrior, the initiator, the fire that says, I must go first. So it's not a soft, gentle transit. It's like a cosmic boot camp where we're being asked to take our visions very seriously and ground them in reality, and also face our fears head on. We can no longer escape into fantasy or hide behind these vague ideals. Saturn really demands that our dreams withstand the test of time. So, yeah, it's like we're moving from illusion into form, from passivity into courageous leadership. And it's not about this reckless charisma, it's about this earned authority. So, yeah, and with Neptune in the mix, there's a cosmic collision of fire and fog. So it's gonna get steamy, guys. It's drive and doubt that are getting combined. So the terrain ahead is very unfamiliar and it can feel uncomfortable. But just know that it's very, very fertile. The transit is going to challenge our identities, our beliefs, and also our capacity to build something real from what we imagine, Neptune. So speak with greater purpose, also lead with more integrity, and also stop waiting for ideal conditions. We need to start building what we truly believe in and put some structure into that. So Neptune will definitely inspire the dream, but Saturn is going to ask you, can you embody it, and can you lead it, and can you really truly live it? We must stop floating around. We must replace confusion with clarity, and also learn how to make our inner fire sustainable. This is actually the moment where inspiration meets endurance. So we also must stop saying things like, I have anxiety. I know a lot of people struggle with anxiety. I had to deal with it as well a couple of years ago. It's very overwhelming. It's because we're not fully grounded. So we must stop saying, I have anxiety. We need to start saying, I feel anxious about this meeting, this new job, this new relationship. Why? Because Saturn teaches us that fear is a signal. It is not our identity. So yeah, very big identity shifts. And also check in with your discomfort. Do not avoid it. With Saturn, there will be no avoiding anymore. So it's definitely about our personal sovereignty and about taking our fire, our vision, and applying the discipline needed to really see things through. And this is also where the dream stops being a wish and really becomes a plan. So if you have a good plan, and if you have been dreaming about doing something spiritual, or if you have this vision that you want to implement in your life, now is actually the perfect time to put your plans into action, Aries. So it does have a lot of pros as well. So just know that Saturn doesn't really love being in Aries. It's in fall. Aries wants speed. It acts on instinct and it wants individual freedom. But Saturn wants rules. It's about time and about accountability. So yeah, Aries wants to leap. It wants to act and to conquer. But Saturn wants to plan. Saturn wants to restrict and also refine. So the tension creates a lot of friction. But that friction is actually exactly where transformation lives in our lives. So not about this reckless impatience, but more about this strategic boldness. Yeah, it's about being the warrior monk, and it's going to be the battle-tested leader who has like the courage to act, but also the wisdom to wait, listen, and also fully train himself. So he's worthy of his authority. So yeah, a lot of growth through friction. It's about earning our confidence and really time to build something brave. So how are you mastering your impulses? And maybe it's time to stop being ruled by them. So not the time to really blindly rush ahead. It's the time to build with focus and this long range vision for the future. So yeah, from May to September, we get this preview. Then it retrogrades back into Pisces to really wrap up all the unfinished business from actually 29 years prior to this moment. So yeah, a very big reset. Actually, with Neptune, a very historic moment. We will see from 2026 until 2028. It's going to push us to take radical personal responsibility and also set new goals and really crystallize Saturn, new dreams, Neptune, and really define new boundaries in our lives. And I think a lot of people will benefit greatly from this energy. So yeah, really good time for independent stability. Yeah, Neptune in Aries is about spiritual courage, and it also dissolves this passive victim-based illusions, and it calls in a new wave of leadership. And leadership, those who are vision driven rather than power hungry. Neptune really asks us to burn away fantasy and live our ideals, but in practical ways. So it's done with sitting on the couch and praying for the kids in Africa, although that's very beautiful. I do not judge that, but now it's time to get up from the couch, get ourselves in the kitchen, and cook these kids a meal. That is going to be the real spiritual warrior right now. So we need to also let go on a personal level. We need to release victimhood narratives. It's actually pushing us to rebuild our self-trust and reignite our inner fire, but with a stable basis, not with impulsive recklessness and where we burn out completely. So yeah, victim culture gone. Cancel culture, it's going to be outdated. It's about maturity, authenticity, and the question is no longer like, what are you escaping from? It is, what are you creating, and can it last? So yeah, let me know what you want to create, what you want to yeah, build so it can last in your life, and what are your new goals for this Saturn and Aries. If you work towards manifesting your dream, Saturn can really crystallize the dream right now. So this is actually a transit to make your dreams come true, but it will take a lot of hard work and a lot of dedication. So we need to train ourselves mentally, spiritually, but also physically. Our actions must align with long-term values, and we must also make peace with the slow pace of real steady growth. And that is like not an easy one for me. I want everything fast as an Aries. And we're now all gonna partake in this energy where we need to like be happy with the small steps we take every day, and look at the small steps over a long period of time, and really give ourselves a pat on the back for doing so well and for keep showing up. Yeah, if you keep show up, then there can be a wave that's going to be created by Neptune, and the wave that's going to be created by Neptune, Saturn is going to really take this wave and really use it as a new stable basis where you can build upon in the next 29 years. So yeah, it's also about choosing yourself. Yeah, this transit is not about waiting to be chosen. It's about choosing yourself and making the most of your own talents, of which you are born with. And these talents, they do not blossom in a year or two. The talents you are born with, they take time to develop. So on a collective level, we can expect major themes around leadership, reform, also big innovation in tech, in space, in defense, and also entrepreneurship. It's going to be a big shift. We're also going to see a lot of cultural clashes around freedom versus accountability. And I think that's already a very big one. We're also going to see a lot of final endings of outdated systems of authority. And I think for a lot of people, that will be a very welcoming sight to see. So, and because Saturn is karma, if you use your power in the wrong way, which is actually, power is more connected to Pluto, but still Saturn gives you the bad consequences. If you're not authentic, then you're gonna have this very big spiritual awakening through crisis or a big challenge in your life. but it will help you. So don't fear the transit. I know a lot of astrologers are a bit more negative. I think that, facing karmic consequences for staying stuck in a victimhood mentality, I think that's actually a positive thing. But a lot of the normies, and it's a word I don't like to use a lot, but people who are not very aware and awake, and people who are so stuck in their patterns, they're gonna have a harsh, brutal wake-up call, because Saturn is also about reality. And Mem Jack says, no turning back. That is very well said, because after Saturn moves into Aries fully next spring for the Northern Hemisphere, then there is really no turning back anymore. 2025 is a 9-year, it's a year of big endings, and 2026 is in 1 year, so then we'll have a very big new start and a new beginning. But yeah, a lot of people are going to have to wrap up a lot of things, and they're going to have to let go a lot of things that they're very, very, very attached to. So that can be a little bit more difficult for a lot of people. So let's look a bit at the history, so we can have a better understanding about what happened the last time we saw Saturn and Neptune coming together. So the Saturn-Neptune cycle happens every 36 years or so, but it's always in a different sign. Each time they meet, they dissolve the old world and restructure society around these new ideals, Neptune. So I'm going to give you very quickly a few important conjunctions in recent history, so we get a better understanding about what's to come. So in 1989, we had a Saturn-Neptune in Capricorn, and that was the fall of the Berlin Wall. We also saw the collapse of the Soviet Union accompanied by that, so the end of the Cold War, so huge shifts in global power structures. We also saw the rise of this neoliberal capitalism and the New World Order under George Bush. So the themes back then were the dissolution, Neptune, of hard authority, Saturn, and political walls, literally. So that was a big one for sure. Then the other one was 1952-53. That was Saturn-Neptune in the sign of Libra. Then we saw a ceasefire in the Korean War. We also saw the beginning of the Cold War military-industrial complex. We also saw the rise of global peace talks. Diplomacy was a very, very big theme. And that also led to new UN initiatives. So the themes back then were balance, Libra, between forces of power, also idealism in foreign policy, but also Cold War paranoia. Then the one before that was 1917. That was Saturn-Neptune together in the sign of Leo. And then we saw the Russian Revolution and the collapse of the monarchy for Russia, the beginning of the Soviet ideology. We saw World War I intensifying with dramatic loss of life. We also saw the introduction of spiritual movements and utopian ideals. So that's why with every Saturn-Neptune conjunction, Russia keeps coming up again, because it's just integrated in the pattern of Saturn-Neptune conjunctions. So the themes back then were collapse of ego-driven power, Leo, the rise of collective ideologies, and also the disillusionment about leadership. And that's going to be one big one that's going to come up again. So if we then look at some historical context of only Saturn in Aries, then we saw in 67, 69, Saturn was in Aries. We saw Vietnam War protests really explode. We saw civil rights movement that really hit a climax. We also saw the space race that really reached its peak with all the Apollo missions, which I'm not very convinced about that they're all real, but that's like all other topic or discussion. We also saw student revolts, which we are seeing again right now, and also a lot of global uprisings, especially in France, the US, and Mexico. So yeah, it's all gonna come back. So don't be scared. It's just normal. Some things need to come up so they can be cleared. But we also saw, and back then, we also saw the rise of counterculture. There was this radical identity movements coming forth as well. So the themes then were like rebellion with structure, youthful protest with authority, Aries. The individual Aries challenged the governmental systems, Saturn. So that is coming back for sure. Then in 1937-39, we had the prelude to World War II. We also had Nazi Germany that really, it really escalated. We had the Spanish Civil War and also the rise of authoritarian regimes. The themes then aggression, military complexes getting out of proportion, and also like the test of moral boundaries. I know it's a bit of a heavy video, but it's good to be a little bit aware. We then also saw one in 1702, 1704, and that was also a Saturn in Aries, but with Neptune nearby. There wasn't a conjunction, but Neptune was in the neighborhood. We saw the War of the Spanish Succession that began, so a very, very wide European conflict. We also saw a massive shift in colonial and European power back then, and also tensions between dynastic power and also spiritual legitimacy. So there was this early enlightenment and these ideals that really began to take root. So the themes then were the clash between the old power structures and the spiritual and philosophical awakening accompanied by that. So it's not all doom and gloom. Sometimes bad things happen in order for good things to emerge. And that's definitely going to be the case as well. So why is 2025, 2028 going to be different than all the other things I've just showed you? That's actually quite a big one, because the last time Saturn and Neptune in Aries, when they were together at the 0 degree, that's actually not even recorded. We cannot find it in all of our astrology programs. It's not, it's not, we're not able to go back as far in time. So it's before recorded Western history. It was the actual age, a period when major spiritual systems and also philosophies were born across all cultures. So we saw, for example, Taoism in China. We also saw the rise of Greek philosophy. Think about Pythagoras, think about early Socrates. We also saw big reformations in Hinduism and Buddhism in India. So isn't that like very, very striking? And isn't that like something to look forward to as well? Because the themes were spiritual and philosophical revolution, a very big redefinition of what it means to actually live ethically, how to lead justly, and also how to connect with the divine. So 2025, 2028, it's not just this political or technological change, it's a massive spiritual and existential, massive collective reset. We are actually redefining what it means to be free. What is real? What is an illusion, especially with all the AI and all the other computer and all the tech things that are coming forward. It is also gonna be redefined, like what we are willing to fight for, and also how we lead with our inner truth and not from control or from a fear-based approach. That all needs to go. So I think a massive, massive spiritual awakening. We know from the past that Saturn Neptune cycles really dissolve these old borders, and really initiated these new type of visions. And when this happens in Aries, it's not just about this subtle change. We really like charge fully into it. Aries is like attacking, forging, conquering, moving forward. So we're not just reshaping governments or economies, we are actually redefining reality itself. So isn't it like a very beautiful time to be alive right now, to be part of this process, to be part of this very huge shift in reality that we're about to see? And I know in other Saturn Neptune conjunctions, there was physical Saturn manifestation of spirit Neptune. So we're gonna see very beautiful things appearing into the sky. And the beautiful part as well is that Saturn, Neptune together, they make a sextile with Pluto, the underworld, and they make a sextile with Uranus, which rules the skies. So all these new things that are gonna come forward, they are gonna come from below and above at the same time. So yeah, it's going to be a very interesting year, 2026, whenever we see this beautiful minor trine and the sextiles to all the outer planets. That is actually something I'm really looking forward to, and we need to be grateful to be alive to really witness what's going to play out soon. So yeah, it's not just the Saturn transit, this one. It's really this new spiritual initiation, the 0 degrees of Aries, where the conjunction is fully going to take place of Neptune and Saturn. It does happen in the end of February 2026. So a very profound new cycle. So yeah, no more floating, no more faking, no more waiting. It's time to be this truth warrior and to really stand up for ourselves. So yeah, let's look a little bit back at the chart for a bit before I start the 12 rising signs. Yeah, it's a lot to take in, especially because I'm an Aries and I'm like, oh my God, what is it going to bring in my life? So if you're a fellow Aries, let me know how you're dealing with all of the things that are happening in our signs. But let's go back to the chart for just a bit. So all these outer planets making sextiles towards each other, making a trine, Saturn, Neptune on top of each other. All the outer planets, all the bad boys are like talking to each other. It's like you can look at it as like this big UN meeting, but it's like the UN meeting of the big boys in the sky. So yeah, very profound what's about to unfold. So all these aspects, they are about leadership and about integrity. They are going to be the central key themes. We need to lead with purpose, not from our ego. That time is over. It's about this earned authority. That's the only thing that will endure during this time. All that, if leaders are going to want to take things by force or deception, it is very likely to collapse. The best leaders in this period will be those who really listen, plan, and act with a lot of wisdom. Rather than reacting impulsively. That is not going to be a good outcome. So a very big time for grounded, thoughtful ambition, especially for those stepping into leadership roles or really want to forge on an independent path. Saturn also rules over time and also over discipline. And Aries wants this immediate action, but Saturn is going to slow things down, teaching us that a slow pace is true power and is providing true stability. We are really encouraged to actually redirect our energy into focus and also strategic action rather than these scattered bursts of impulsivity. So discipline and endurance will prove way more valuable than speed after this conjunction. And the discomfort is really of like, the discomfort of delayed gratification will eventually make way for way deeper and more sustainable success. So really build those long-term goals that really endure beyond this temporary reward. But yeah, we all know, if you look back in history, that conflict and resistance, they are really unavoidable during this transit. But how we engage in conflict is really going to make all the difference. Anger and rebellion, they are going to arise, but the guidance is here to channel these impulsive impulses with a purpose. Really choose your battles wisely and resist acting out of ego. Really avoid reckless or reactive behavior. And just know that rebellion without direction leads nowhere. But resistance informed by strategy and clarity can be so transformative. So these clear values are the tools that will help our individual life and also help us navigate moments of tension and confrontation effectively. So yeah, with Neptune involved, it's this deeper spiritual and cultural layer to this transit. Yeah, it's so profound, guys. It's challenging us to really align our personal ambition with this collective healing, especially also with Pluto and Aquarius. It's about doing good for the world, not being selfish and impatient. This is a very striking moment to start building systems that really reflect authentic values rather than tearing all these things down for the sake of change. Neptune's influence is really, it means that illusion and escapism may be very tempting because a lot of things are going to overwhelm us. So very, very vital to stay grounded. Saturn in Aries is going to be maturity and motion. That is going to be the true test and also the true promise of Saturn in Aries. So those who embrace this challenge will emerge from these years, the next 3 years ahead, and they're going to emerge stronger, wiser, and more deeply aligned with who they really are. So I'm going to quickly look at the comments. Hannah says, that's why I had an inner knowing the first time I heard the word Corona, that this is why I live now. It starts such a gift to be witnessing this all now and to be part of it on Earth. Yeah. And like, I'm going to be honest to you guys. I think in March of 2026, they're going to try to pull something else out of their sleeve. It will be up to us to learn from the mistakes of 2020. I'm not going to say anymore because I need to be careful with what I say on YouTube, but you guys know what I'm talking about. And hi, Soul Sam. Hi, Astrid. You look very summery, much needed. I don't know where you live, but yeah, we had quite a good spring here in Belgium. We had so much sun, but we had like no rain, which is very, very atypical for Belgium. So actually, I'm praying for a bit of rain. So I'm like entering this new vision of please let it rain. And normally, someone from Belgium would never say that. So. And Mem Jax says, and Congo says, hello, everyone. Hello, Congo. And Mem Jax says, my sister's best friends since 1980 is in Aries. I think that's why I'm drawn to you. Oh, yeah. That is like a little bit of the energy runs in the family, so you're familiar with it. That's so sweet, Mem Jax. Thank you so much. So now we're going to look a little bit more at some remedies on how to work with this energy. So yeah, the first one is practice strategic patience. Saturn wants it now. Aries wants it now. Saturn says wait, prepare, and plan. So it would be wise if you feel a bit overwhelmed. to start your day with a 5-minute check-in to really review your goals and also your intentions before taking action. Write to-do lists, and that is going to help you to slow down impulsivity. Then the other big part is creating discipline and movement. The areas of the body that are ruled by Aries are the head, the muscles, the blood, and our adrenals. So a lot of people are gonna suffer more from headaches, migraines, brain injury will be more of a hot topic. People who are stressed out, jaw clenching can get a little bit out of hand as well. All these things are very important to keep your eye on for this time as well. And we need to support our muscles with good circulation, and also periods that prevent cramping and injuries, like stretching and really putting a lot of focus on the muscle, a lot of focus on circulation. And as you know, Saturn can create blocks, and Saturn needs structure. So we're going to see a lot of blocks in people's heads, like there aren't enough of them already, but it's going to happen. A lot of blocks in blood circulation. So that's also already a very big theme the last 5 years. I think that is going to be worse, sadly to say, but it would be wise to detox yourself from anything that is not naturally necessary in your body. So all the spike proteins, all the other toxic things really need to go. Otherwise, it's gonna mess with your blood, and Saturn can create blocks. So yeah, commit to a consistent physical routine. You can strengthen your muscles through martial arts, and I think martial arts will be one of the best things to do, because Aries is about fighting, and creating stability and calming down the nervous system. Getting out of your head by boxing would be a very wise thing to do. You can also do strength training. You can do yoga. You can also buy this plate. I don't know how it's called in English, but at home I have a plate where I can stand up and it shakes, and I tend to do it after I work out. But you can also do it to help blood circulation. Then we can also focus on embracing humble leadership. That is also going to be an important one, because Aries is about leadership, and Saturn really asks us, have you earned it? So take on a mentorship or a leadership role that really requires service towards others and also consistency. And do it for that, not just for the sake of visibility. Really teach, guide, and help someone to grow. And that is gonna really propel your own process in a very fast way. Then some mantras or affirmations can be, I act with intention and I follow my truth. And also I am patient with all my passions. And also I lead with integrity and not from my ego. Then another remedy that can come in quite handy is to actually wear dark blue, wear black, or wear indigo on Saturdays. Saturday is Saturn Day. So if you adjust your clothing appropriately on Saturday, that can also be a remedy. Another thing is to maybe donate to the poor, help your elders. Saturn is about people of old age, and also about disabled people, because we have the North Node in Pisces as well. Saturn rules karma, humility, and also service. So really help those out in need. And also mind your impulses. Maybe before you make a big decision in regards to finances, love, or your work, really use the 72-hour rule, especially if you feel like you've fed up with it and you want to call it a quits. It's gonna happen a lot, especially right now before the ingress of Saturn into Aries. Currently we have Uranus on the Sun, a lot of people are gonna be like, okay, well, I'm breaking free. I've had enough of it. I'm out here, but be mindful not to get into a worse situation, really, because impulse is not always intuition, and that is something a lot of people sometimes mistake. So, so Soul Sam says the weather is great in the UK, but the mood is shit. With oh no, I'm not gonna say that word here on YouTube. I almost said it, but that is yeah. People who are into altering their state of mind, they are gonna face very harsh karmic really karmic repercussions with Saturn and Neptune, because Neptune is wanting to get into another state of mind. It's also escapism. Saturn is going to be very, very strict, very, very tough towards those who try to escape reality. So not a very good or wise idea to get into that right now or ever. So I'm gonna start the meaning readings, and you can look up your birth chart by going to astroseek.com, choose birth chart, then fill out your birth details, then you will get your chart. This chart is Capricorn rising, for example, and listen to your rising sign first, and then you can also listen for your sun sign, because that also resonates a lot. Okay, we're gonna start with Aries, sun, moon, or rising. You are gonna have this Saturn jumping in your sign, of course. Oh my God, Aries, you have been the star of the show for all these past readings, because so much has been happening in your sign. So yeah, you're gonna have Saturn into your first house, into your sign from May 2025 to early 2028. It's going to have a brief retrograde back into the sign of Pisces by September 1st until February of 2026. And it's going to mark this profound turning point in how you define and how you embody yourself, and also how you project your identity. The first house is really about your physical body, about your appearance, your attitude, and also your self-perception. And with Saturn here, it's going to demand that you take full responsibility for who you are, and also how you show up in the world. So yeah, my dear Aries, it's time to grow up. So yeah, this transit is really calling for maturity, for discipline, and also for self-respect. So yeah, shed these impulsive behaviors, really take time to replace them with a more intentional, grounded sense of self. And it's not about molding yourself to others' expectations. It's about building a solid foundation of self-worth and personal authority. So for some of my fellow Aries, others are going to start seeing you now as a leader, even if you don't feel ready. If other people start to see you as a leader, it means that the universe is saying you're ready. So take ownership of your presence. Take ownership of your reputation, of your body, and also your energy levels are your responsibility right now. And just know, especially if you have a sun sign in Aries, Saturn can really refrain the vitality whenever it comes onto your sun. So that is a time period where you need to be extra cautious for your health. So really implement these healthy habits that really are going to support your body and your vitality, because Saturn can also be quite harsh on that. So another important factor is, at the same time, Neptune is in Aries for such a long presence, also in your first house. It's going to last until 2039. So on the positive side, it means that your personal aura carries a very magnetic and a very mysterious and visionary quality. And with Saturn and Neptune co-present in your sign, there's a push to really merge spirituality and authenticity with this tangible self-development. So a lot of people who are Aries or Aries rising are going to have this big identity shift. And by having a lot of challenges, they will grow in a very profound spiritual way, where they can really be this master and this teacher, and help other people with their problems as well. So just know that Neptune can blur your sense of identity a little bit, making you more empathic and more idealistic. And Saturn is also going to help crystallize your vision. And it's going to help crystallize your vision into structuring, and others can really recognize and respect that right now. So over the next few years, you're really being asked to walk your talk, to really align your actions, your appearance, and your energy with your deeper truths. Saturn will really test your endurance, your boundaries, and also how you self-master. So it's going to push you to adopt sustainable routines, and that need to be these need to be new routines that really support your mental, emotional, and physical resilience as well. So I know it's a very big task that is waiting for you, my dear Aries. So it's also about the way how you manage your time, your energy, and also your health. They will all become very, very central themes to your growth. So yeah, this period is really going to sharpen your understanding of true independence. Not rebellion for its own sake, but the kind of autonomy that really stems from self-discipline and clarity and purpose. So you might need to say no a bit more often. You might get challenged to assert your boundaries. You're going to have to reevaluate how much energy you give others. And Saturn through the first is about building a legacy of self-respect and sovereignty. So really don't waste your fire on distractions or these petty frustrations. Try to direct it towards building a self-image that can weather storms and inspire others. Neptune is really shaping your long-term path, so you can now start to have this lasting spiritual and energetic impact. So even though it can be quite a bit challenging in the next couple of years, just know that the universe is saying like, hey, you need to step it up right now, because the universe needs you to step it up so you can help others. So it's actually a very, very big gift and a blessing. So try to be proud of yourself and your accomplishments, even if the pace isn't as fast as you would like. And it's your time to become the architect of your own life, and not just in theory, but also in practice. So really, my dear fellow Aries, lead with purpose, embody your values fully, and also trust that real strength is built and not born. So let me know what's happening for you, my dear Aries. Then we have Taurus, sun, moon, or rising. Saturn is going to enter into Aries in your 12th house. So this is a very deeply personal realm. It's the realm of the subconscious. It's solitude. It's also hidden patterns, healing, and spiritual transformation. So it can be more of a quiet, but still a very powerful cycle where much of the work happens behind the scenes, or happens within. So can be about old fears resurfacing, karmic baggage that needs to be dissolved by Neptune, and also unresolved emotional conditioning, and all these things are gonna bubble up. And it's not to haunt you. They arise so you can finally confront and release them. And Saturn demands you to stop avoiding what lies beneath. So escapism, denial, emotional bypassing, if you're gonna be doing those things, they will likely backfire. So you're actually being called to cultivate a lot of discipline to face your inner world head on and really take responsibility for your internal landscape. So healing and professional freedom will only come through deep, consistent work, and the rewards will be very, very soul deep and also very long lasting. So really take this chance, my dear Taurus, because it's going to open the door to structured and spiritual growth. And Neptune is going to be in the 12th house until 2039. So your inner life is being reshaped for the long haul. And Saturn now joining the party in the 12th is going to give you the tools to create boundaries around your spiritual and emotional energy. And it's going to help you to distinguish between connection through inner connection and feeling overwhelmed by these negative buried emotions. Spiritual solitude will be very, very nourishing, and you will need to listen to your body and especially look at your mental health, and really listen whenever you need to recharge alone. Yeah, unhealthy withdrawal or avoidance could create emotional distress or also confusing karmic feedback. So be sure if you want to retreat a little bit, that you do it for the right reasons and not because you want to go into avoidance or denial. Also, because it's happening in the sign of Aries and it's in your 12th house, pay a lot of attention to sudden irritation and discomfort. It's your subconscious alerting you that someone, or maybe even yourself, has breached the boundaries. So use this time to refine your intuitive abilities as well, because the 12th is a very psychic house. A very beautiful time to create more structure and bigger foundation in your spiritual practices, and also learn how to trust your inner voice through these daily routines like journaling, meditation, writing down your dreams, and also practices of divination can really help you to propel forward. Saturn is going to give you the discipline, and Neptune is going to offer you the vision, and in the 12th is very, very powerful. Those two together are going to support you in becoming both grounded and also spiritually attuned. So just know that you're ready to step into a more whole, healed version of yourself. And when Saturn reaches your first house in 2028, you're going to have this profound new way of looking at yourself, because you've been able to purge all the unnecessary baggage from your 12th house, from the subconscious. So really take healing very seriously right now. And also know that the quiet transformation you undergo now will really provide a very solid spiritual foundations for many, many years to come. So you are just preparing to emerge wiser, stronger, and more intuitively aligned than ever before. So let me know what's going on for you, my dear Taurus, and I wish you the best of luck. We have Gemini, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Saturn is going to jump into Aries and it's going to activate your 11th house. And it's the realm of friendships, communities, also your long-term goals, wishes, social causes. And it's a period of serious restructuring all these social aspects of life. So I think you're going to feel more selective or a lot more cautious about who you spend time with. It's actually quality over quantity. That is going to become very essential. So you're going to notice that a lot of friendships that lack depth or lack shared values, they're going to naturally fade away and get dissolved by Neptune. While maybe new, more loyal, and more purposeful connections are going to get strengthened by Saturn. So Saturn really demands that you invest real effort into your friendships and your community involvement. So sometimes socializing may at times feel a little bit burdensome or can feel a little bit more exhausting than usual. So just know that if you lean into responsibility in regards of your friendships, and rather than resisting it, that you'll form these new relationships and networks that are going to withstand the test of time. And trying to escape social obligations entirely, on the other hand, is likely going to backfire for you. So Saturn is very strict, and it's going to keep reminding you of your role and your responsibilities, even when you try to hide from them. Just know that it's also a very powerful time for stepping into leadership within groups or organizations. Maybe you're gonna be called to lead a project. Maybe you might take on a leadership role and start mentoring others, or take a larger role in some cause that interests you, or some type of movement. Saturn will really support your growth into an authority figure. But it's not going to come without its challenges. But if you look at it from a spiritual perspective, and you're able to tap into the attunement of higher frequencies, then definitely you'll become this role model in your friendship, or in your groups and networks as well. So yeah, maybe you are gonna question if you're capable of such a role with Saturn. But Saturn here is going to help you to develop the patience, discipline, and also the confidence to succeed. So you can start believing in yourself. And by the end of this transit, you're likely to feel way more grounded in your purpose, and also clearer about your place in your community or in your friend group. But Saturn is definitely going to cut some friendships away at first. But also Saturn will help you crystallize your long-term goals and your dreams. And with Neptune's presence here as well, you might feel a little bit unclear or a little bit idealistic about the future, but Saturn now is going to provide a lot of structure to turn your dreams into a good lasting plan. So you're really called to define your aspirations in a more concrete way, and to build a step-by-step pathway to achieve them. It's going to be possible, but it's going to require a lot of hard work. So yeah, improve systems that affect many people. The 11th house is also about invisible networks, things that are not being able to fully grasp. It's also the internet, online communities, and you can make a very big presence in those areas as well. So it can also be in a humanitarian or a sort of activist role as well. Spiritual communities are very, very good, but grounded spiritual communities, not to escape from reality. People are going to need to really be black and white about that. Just know that if you focus on networks that reflect your ideals and also your long-term purpose, that they're going to propel you forward into that in your life right now. So just know that this is an extraordinary time to be this new builder of new system, and also new social structures are going to emerge, and you're going to have a lot of benefits that are going to come through friends. And Saturn is going to reward you when you keep showing up, when you commit to the right people, and if you lead with integrity. So the foundations you lay now will support your dreams for years to come. So very, very beautiful. And I wish you the best of luck, my dear Gemini. Hi, E. Hartley, 4 times Aries. Oh my God, E. Hartley. Oh, Saturn and Neptune are gonna cross over all your Aries placements. Let me know what's going on, because I am curious to hear. We have Cancer, Sun, Moon, or Rising. For you, Saturn is gonna enter Aries, and it's gonna activate your 10th house, which is an angular house. Very, very important for you, Cancer. It's the sector of career, public image, ambition, and also your legacy. So it's a period of this major professional transformation. If you are a Cancer that's a little bit older, we see Saturn entering the 10th house is mostly correlated with retiring. So it can just simply mean retiring and doing something else, or your reputation changes, and maybe you're retired right now and you have more time to focus on building spiritual foundations, or maybe do an extra job in your retirement that is connected to spirituality as well. That is actually one of the more potent transits for this right now, so make good use of it. So yeah, a very big period of major professional transformation, and it's a bit whether you're ready or not. Life now asks you to really step up and take on a greater responsibility, and also define your public role with a lot of maturity and true intentions. Aries independent, Aries energy is very dependent, independent, and you may feel like a growing urge, or maybe you are forced to really carve out your own path, perhaps even by becoming self-employed or taking on a big leadership role. The pressure to prove yourself through action, consistency, and confidence will intensify due to Saturn's presence here. But just know, if you've done the job, and if you've done a good job, Saturn rewards your efforts. So although the work may feel very heavy at times, your commitment will lead to long-term rewards and a lot of recognition. It is the top of the chart. A lot of people see what's going on at the top of the chart. It's publicly known. So yeah, it's not about hustle or short-term gain. It's really about building a legacy that reflects your strength and also your integrity. And with Saturn here, expect to be tested. You're going to have increased responsibilities. Maybe you might need to train others, and it can be a bit frustrating. Or maybe you need to, or be like relied upon more heavily by your workplace or your community. You might even experience authority figures challenging your place. They're gonna do that because you need to become the own authority, and they're gonna teach you, but it might not be that fun. So you need to become a respected leader through your actions, not just by your title. And if you've been drifting around in your career, or maybe if you're a little bit uncertain about your direction in life, Saturn will really push you to focus, to define your goals, and also to commit to a new long-term path. And Neptune's presence in your 10th house until 2039 brings a spiritual and visionary tone to your ambitions right now. So we know, my dear Cancers, you are not just here to climb the ladders. You are actually here to inspire and lead with compassion, and really align your career with a deeper purpose. Saturn and Neptune together are really going to invite you to ground your vision into reality, and to also build a professional life that is both structured and also meaningful. And also take some time, because you also find that simplification, organization, and discipline are going to become your secret weapons in your career area. You also might be discovering that you're capable of more output with less stress, as you learn to like streamline your workflow, and also command your space more effectively, or the people around you. Do it in a mature way. Yeah, you could also be more self-motivated, more reliable in the career area, and also excel under pressure. So if you're aiming for a promotion, if you want to launch a new business, or redefine your career path, then this is your time to take control over that. You can totally change your public role over the next few months, and really set this new standard for your ambition. So really claim your space out in the world, because after this transit has passed, you are definitely gonna earn it. So good luck, my dear Cancer. We have Leo, Sun, Moon, or Rising. You are gonna have Saturn's transit in Aries, activating your ninth house. And the ninth house is the domain of philosophy, higher education, it's travel, it's publishing. It's also a very spiritual house, and it's also about your world view and about what your look is on the future. So this period really brings a big call or push to mature and redefine or refine your beliefs, and really restructuring your whole belief system. So it's about maybe question yourself where your value comes from, and whether they truly reflect who you are becoming. Saturn here is about, do your ideas have structure? Do your principles stand up or stand out in real life? You may be challenged to discard and purge outdated beliefs, and also to, yeah, cleanse inherited perspective, and instead build a worldview that is grounded in experience, and also is about your inner truth and your own, because you've encountered it. So it can be deeply spiritual, you can be extra curious about philosophy, and you can be extra drawn to global cultures and politics as well. So go deeper, study more seriously, and also develop a more intellectual and spiritual authority. You're gonna feel more called to study, to travel far abroad, and to fully engage in spiritual and cultural exchanges. So really do that, but plan it carefully, because some delays and tests are definitely likely, but it's going to be very, very tremendous for your long-term growth and your belief system. Um, so yeah, beautiful time to really dive deep into higher education, or publish your thoughts publicly. Anything, yeah, from a book or a blog, a podcast, or where you need to comment in a social way is going to be maturing you in a very big way. And Saturn here means that you'll need to commit to the process, that you will need to be consistent, and also focus on mastery over perfection. Ninth house is also about legal matters and academic institutions, and they may also come into focus right now. So pay close attention to rules, to details, because there are going to be no shortcuts in this area of your chart here. Neptune will stay here in the ninth house until 2039. So your spiritual vision and your ideals are going to remain strong. But now Saturn really insists on living the values and not just dreaming about them. Yeah, there's a big difference. A lot of people have this beautiful belief system, but their actions are very contrary. So make sure they are aligned now. Otherwise, you're going to run into challenges. So yeah, embody integrity, walk your talk, live in alignment with your true, or the truth in your core essence. And when real life challenges and tests are coming up, just see them as an opportunity to anchor your beliefs into your action, and it will really lead to a sense of profound inner clarity and also authenticity. So yeah, these two bad boys are gonna help you build a very solid philosophical foundation. So it's not just about what you believe, but how you live by those beliefs. And yeah, maybe some people are gonna start to see you as a guide or a teacher in some way. Other people are gonna start looking to you for more wisdom and more insight. And anything that you start now through study, travel, or spiritual, or philosophical, or anything you're going to publish, that can like really establish your very big, wise voice in the world, and can also lay the groundwork for lasting respect. So yeah, it's not about adopting this rigid mindset, but rather about finding the discipline to live with intention, and also the courage to question what no longer fits your belief system. So structure your vision, act with integrity. Saturn wants you to grow through experience and to become a wise leader through this earned understanding. But you will understand it once Saturn moves into Aries soon. So good luck, my dear Leo. We have Virgo, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Saturn is gonna activate or jump into the sign of Aries, and it's gonna activate your 8th house. So, yeah, the 8th is the most intense and transformative area of the chart. Any planet that dips into the 8th house goes to hell and back. So, yeah, it's about shared finances, emotional entanglements, psychological depth, intimacy, and also power dynamics, and what has power over you. So yeah, this is not a surface level transit at all. You're being called to take full responsibility for your entanglements with others. That can be financial, emotional, and also energetic. So these unbalanced relationships, these power struggles, and also the toxic dependencies, all these things will no longer be sustainable. So if you've been overly relying on someone, or if you allowed someone to be too heavily dependent on you, then Saturn will really demand you that those ties might need to be renegotiated, or call it a quits. So, and if you are not going to take the initiative, life will really force you to. So yeah, a good time to examine where trust, control, and also vulnerability play out in your life, and how to establish boundaries that are rooted in integrity and also come from inner strength, not from fear, which is also the 8th house. So the 8th house is also about psychological insight and emotional healing. Saturn really wants you to approach these areas with structure, maturity, and also discipline. And Neptune is also in this house. It's going to be in the 8th house until 2039, so there may be some subtle confusion, there can be emotional blurring, and Saturn can really clarify things. So Saturn is telling you, time to face your shadows, stop romanticizing them, study psychology, dive into trauma healing. A wonderful time for astrology and diving into these occult practices as well, and also very beneficial for therapeutic disciplines that could be incredibly rewarding during this time. So whether you're digging into your own psyche or helping others through their own inner healing, this transit really asks you to hold space and have accountability also for others, but also for your own shadow. So yeah, it's a deep house. Saturn also brings a focus on this karmic cleanup in all these matters I just mentioned. So think about financial debts, emotional baggage, and also lingering issues of betrayal and also resentment. They are gonna get purged in a very big way. So why does Saturn wants to do that? It wants to do that to restore balance, so you're able to reclaim your power and also emerge more self-aware, and it's going to stimulate your emotional sovereignty. So expect to be tested around control, around trust, and around boundary setting, and you might need to face some power struggles and moments where your instincts is going to be to protect, defend, retreat. And Saturn is here to help you to stand your ground without fear, rather than to react from a place of hurt or defensiveness. So it's going to teach you how to respond with clarity and with resilience, and also it's going to teach you a lot about your inner authority, and that can be hidden and it can come up and emerge from the depths within, and it can even make you surprise yourself. So We're also going to learn to say no without feeling guilty. And also, you're going to learn to detach yourself from manipulative dynamics, and also to engage only in relationships that are rooted in mutual respect. And by the end of this transit, I think you'll be, no, I know for sure that you're going to be stronger, wiser, and more emotionally self sufficient, more stable, and the most deep part of your chart. So this is actually a big gift, but yeah, in the beginning it can be a bit much. So you're going to have clearer instincts around red flags and also a deeper understanding of your own emotional landscape. So yeah, I know it might not be easy, but this is one of the most powerful opportunities for real deep transformation and healing. And it's the most powerful opportunity that you are getting in years. So make the most of it, even though I know some fellow Virgo risings are gonna have to go through their own depths, through their own baggage, and gonna have to purge a lot in the coming years. So good luck, my dear Virgos. And Hannah says, I'm glad my mom is a Virgo and time for some deep dive. Yeah, Hannah, you as an Aquarius, you're gonna need to help your mom a bit with this because it's not gonna be easy. And E. Hartley says, me too, rising in Virgo. Well, yeah, join the club. We're in for a treat. And oh my God, E. Hartley, you have 4 things in Aries and a Virgo rising. So yeah, that's gonna be very interesting, E. Hartley. I hope it doesn't get too chaotic for you. And if you need some help, be sure to give me a call. So the next one is Libra, Sun, Moon, or Rising. You are gonna have Saturn moving into Aries and it's gonna activate your 7th house. That is the realm of close relationships, romantic partnerships, and also one-on-one collaborations. We can also find legal agreements here. So it's a time for you when you have to approach partnerships with this redefined um yeah, redefined energy. And also you're going to have tests in relationships. Saturn brings pressure, maturity, and only deep committed and emotionally honest relationships will endure under this energy. So anything superficial or casual may naturally fade away. You're being asked to really evaluate what long-term commitment truly means to you. So time to get honest about what you're really looking for in another person. And if you're already in a relationship, this transit will clarify whether it can evolve into something lasting. If not, it's gonna break apart. If you're single, you might find yourself more drawn to more serious, grounded partners than you're used to. Can also be people who are 7 years older than you, people who are wiser than you, or who are more experienced that can help you build more stability in yourself. So, yeah, it's a time for building real foundations with others, and Neptune is also transiting your 7th house into 2039. So, yeah, your romantic and emotional ideals are heightened, and Saturn ensures that you're not just dreaming. So, make your ideals real through effort, through clarity, and also tests about boundaries in relationships. And new partnerships that are formed during this time may feel very fated, can feel very karmic, and they will likely come with a lot of lessons in emotional responsibility and mutual support. So, yeah, don't enter relationships out of loneliness or fear or pressure, because then it will backfire. Saturn is going to test anything that is built on insecurity and illusion. So, what kind of commitment are you truly ready for? And do I need to what do I need to receive in return? So yeah, relationships that survive this transit will be incredibly strong. Saturn can act as glue if it's about mutual respect, and especially if both partners show up fully and authentically, then there's a big chance of gluing yourself, the two of you together, and for the long haul. So just know that in regards to business and legal partnerships, you need to practice extra caution. You're gonna need to be very precise on who you start working with together, and you're gonna need to have strong boundaries. So yeah, Saturn and Neptune together in that house can signify these vague agreements, maybe handshake deals without putting it on paper, and then they get deceptive, and then yeah, just be wary about people and be miscommunications, and they can like quickly spiral into confusion and to disappointment as well. So yeah, get everything in writing, really clarify roles and responsibilities, and also don't hesitate to ask hard questions. Saturn is going to reward you for being direct and responsible, especially in contractual matters as well. So it's about deepening your understanding of relationships, not just romantically, but in all areas where you meet others as an equal. You're really gonna learn to build partnerships that are based on truth, clarity, and shared purpose. So yeah, um, just be mindful to put anything on paper, and also double check the paper, so there is nothing on the paper that can be a little bit confusing or that can cause a misunderstanding. So good luck, my dear Libra. We have Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Rising. You are gonna have Saturn moving into Aries, and it's gonna activate your sixth house of work. It is connected to your daily routine, your physical health, your work ethic, and also service towards others in general. So, a very powerful time to build structure, discipline, and also accountability in your service towards others. Um, yeah, you're going to have the amount of accountability in your everyday life will rise and it will increase. And I don't know if a lot of Scorpio risings are gonna like it. But Saturn here will push you to get serious about your habits, not just at work, but also in how you care for your body, how you manage your time, how you maintain being consistent. So you might experience a heavier workload, or maybe a greater responsibility. And yeah, this can all feel quite overwhelming, but Saturn is going to support those who show up with commitment and patience. So the goal, guys, isn't perfection because it's in the sixth house. So don't try to do it all perfect. It's not going to go like that anyway. It's about being sustainable. So don't overextend yourself, but establish realistic routines. Realistic routines that are in respect both to your ambition and also to your limits. Aries energy can make you feel a little bit impatient, but Saturn teaches you that slow, consistent progress beats the burnout every time. And that will be of utmost importance for you, my dear Scorpios, because sixth house is burnout, sixth house is your health. So Saturn can have a refraining and a limiting effect on that. So health is going to be a major theme. Saturn really demands discipline, and Neptune is like clouding the waters a little bit. So very important to listen to your body and to trust your instincts. And I know, my dear Scorpios, your instincts are so head on, so spot on. So really listen to that, because if something feels off, just don't go ignore it. If you take care of it in an early way, and if you create structured care, that can like prevent these larger issues with Saturn in the sixth house. Saturn is ruling age, so yeah, elders, age, and also chronic pain, inflammation, bones, joints, all these things can cause a little bit of issues. So yeah, fantastic time to start committing yourself to a health regimen, fitness routine, dietary changes, and also eliminate substances that no longer serve you. Otherwise, they're going to make you more sick than you're used to. Saturn in the sixth can really support long-term healing if you like struggled with this inconsistency in health routines. So yeah, it's an opportunity to lay down or like to restructure habits that really last. And if you're feeling a little bit if you feel a little bit irritated or exhausted, it's your body's signal that you're lacking balance. So really take time to address the root causes and be very proactive about creating a life that supports both productivity and well-being. It's the house of acts of service. So you might be called to support others in more meaningful ways. Professionally, personally, you will need to take more accountability, more responsibility. So yeah, just important for you, my dear Scorpio, so you don't get out the stinger, is like, are you serving from a place of strength or from a place of resentment? If it's the last thing, you're gonna need to rework the boundaries. Being of service doesn't mean being exploited. So yeah, you're going to be challenged to redefine how you give your time and energy so that helping others can happen, but without feeling drained. So it's sustainable. So yeah, build a sustainable life physically, emotionally, and energetically. And if you show up consistently and if you honor your health and also refine your daily routine, then this period will leave you stronger, sharper, and more grounded than ever. So look at it from a beautiful perspective. So good luck, my dear Scorpio. We have Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising. You are gonna have Saturn's ingress into Aries, and it's gonna light up your fifth house. So the fifth house is the area that governs creation, creative expression, joy, children, hobbies, romance, and also inspiration. So it's a transit about getting serious about what brings you joy, and also about learning how to honor your creative impulses through discipline and structure. So if you're an artist, a performer, a writer, or simply someone who's like discovering some kind of creative outlet, Saturn is really going to help you to turn inspiration into reality. I'm just going to like mention that whenever I had Saturn going through my fifth house, I felt like all the joy was squeezed from my life. So that were 2 3 years that I was like, oh my god, when am I gonna have a little bit fun again? And if I look back on it, maybe I should have put more energy or time into creating more space for fun. So that is actually something I regret. So maybe it would be wise for you to consciously navigate this. Just know that it might be more difficult to experience joy. So really, be mindful about that. Can be a little bit boring. So yeah, really, Neptune is here as well. So Neptune will be in the fifth house until 2039. So your imagination, also your spiritual vision, are being awakened fully. And Saturn really ensures that those dreams don't remain abstract. It's going to crystallize them, put them into form. So it's actually positive if you know how to use the energy. You're really being asked to build something meaningful out of your passions. So and if you've never seen yourself as like a creative type, that could like totally change right now. You might feel a very powerful urge to express yourself more authentic, in a more authentic way. And even if it's through parenting with a child, maybe with a hobby or a sport, or it can also be through heartfelt expression. So The house also rules romance and also pleasure. So you're gonna feel a shift. And maybe you're going to shift away from these casual flings or these surface level connections, and Saturn really demands depth, maturity, and also emotional truth. So yeah, you might find that you're no longer interested in love that lacks soul. Romantic expressions during this time are going to reflect your desire for authenticity and also long-term connections, things that bring you stability over a long time. It's if you have children, then this is a time of deepening and finding more feeling more stable in your role as a parent. So it can also mean taking on more responsibility as a parent, and also cultivating more patience, structure, and presence in relationship with your children. So yeah, the time and effort that you're going to invest in your children now can be deeply fulfilling, even if it demands a little bit more from you than usual. So yeah, align your joy, creativity, and expression with your values and your long-term purpose, and make fun more meaningful, make fun more sustainable, and also look at what satisfies your soul on a deeper level. You're like stepping into a new level of self-expression that are gonna reflect the full truth of who you are. And with Saturn's help, what you are building now, whether it's creatively, emotionally, or spiritually, Saturn will help you to make it last. So good luck, my dear Sagittarius. We have Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising. You're going to have Saturn's transiting through Aries, and it's going to activate your fourth house. And it's the realm of home, family, ancestry, your emotional security, and also your private inner life. So yeah, a very foundational shift. You can see it. It's at the bottom of the chart. So very deeply felt. It's at the core of your chart, the core of your emotions. So Saturn here is going to ask you to take full responsibility for your living situation. It can be about family dynamics, can be about your personal sense of stability. And maybe some of you Capricorns are going to have to take on a greater domestic responsibility. Maybe some of you are going to start managing households. Some of you are going to have to care for an older family member. Some of you are renovating your space, and also learning new home-related skills can also provide more stability. Another thing is that Saturn in the fourth, when I do clients readings, then a lot of them have issues with water inside of the home. Now it's in Aries. All the readings were, of course, with Saturn and Pisces in the fourth house. But just be mindful of the basement. The basement is something to keep an eye on. The structural foundations of your home, there could be some problems with that. So yeah, issues around housing, property, families, relationships that have been ignored or unspoken, Saturn will bring them back into high focus or big focus right now. So at the first of this transit, initially it might feel a little bit restrictive or a little bit heavy, but just know that it's designed to help you build a stronger and more self-sufficient base for the future. So at the same time, Neptune is also transiting your fourth house. So you're also being called to reimagine what home and what family truly means to you. So for some, it's going to mean letting go of old family narratives or these inherited expectations that are like no longer serving your growth. So others are going to feel the need to redefine the roots, especially if your current living situation or your current family patterns feel oppressive and outdated, or maybe out of alignment with your evolving identity. And also just know that emotional clarity will come through self-reflection, and also if you intentionally go restructuring your own basic roots in your emotions. So maybe you're going to choose to distance yourself distance yourself from ancestral ties, and also maybe you might feel called to set new emotional boundaries towards your family or towards the people you live with together. Or maybe you are going to create your own definition of who family is to you. So, yeah, it's to establish your independence from the inside out. And if you're feeling stuck, or if you like your role at home is maybe a little bit unacknowledged, then this period will really challenge you to assert your authority and also reshape the dynamics in a sustainable way. So it's laying down these new emotional and physical foundations, and Saturn's influence here encourages you to be more methodical and also more patient and also more honest with yourself about what you truly need in order to feel safe and supported at home. Some of you are going to make some tough decisions, moving homes, or maybe someone moves out of your home, creating new boundaries by that, or stepping into a leadership role within the family because someone is moving out and maybe you have kids and maybe you need to take care of them by yourself. Can happen. So if you do experience tension or disruption, trust that it's revealing these deeper imbalances that are now fully ready to be addressed. And the more proactive that you are in responding to these challenges, the more secure and self-possessed that you're going to feel by the end of this transit. So yeah, Saturn in Aries is asking you to build a home from the inside out, and one that truly honors your independence, your integrity, and also honors your emotional truth. So let me know what's going on for you, my dear Capricorn, and I wish you the best of luck. Hi, Rita. So glad you're here with us tonight. The next is Aquarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising. My dear Aquarius, you're going to have Saturn, your chart ruler, is on the move, and he's gonna activate your third house, and it's the realm of communication, learning, also your daily mindset. This the house of the mind. This your community involvement, going to the store, to the gas station, things in your neighborhood that are close by, and it's also resembling your relationship with your siblings. So yeah, it's also short-term distance and also education, like high school. But this transit is going to challenge and refine how you communicate, how you process information, also how you express your ideas. So you're asked to speak with greater authority, with clarity, with discipline. Encounters with others in your immediate environment can push your buttons, especially when you feel like you're not being heard, or if you're like hitting walls during conversation. So know that these tests are here to help you develop a more grounded, intentional voice, speak from a more grounded approach. So yeah, if you speak from a serious, grounded approach, then people are going to recognize that and respect that. So whether you're like journaling, if you're posting online, if you're speaking in public, if you're podcasting, you're going to feel called to structure your thoughts with purpose and with precision. So yeah, Saturn can put a block on the mind, but it can also totally restructure your mind. So would be very wise, if you want to create something and write or speak something, that you listen to some binaural beats on YouTube. You can listen binaural beats focus when you're having to study, having to create something, and it's gonna really, really help you to restructure your brain in a very, very and very good way. So also know that some of you are going to find themselves called to step into a teacher role, a mentor role, or it can also be like this spokesperson role. You're also going to become more critical about how you consume and share information. And at the same time, local connections and your immediate environment are going to be shifting. Saturn and Neptune are in your house, or in relationship to your neighbors, your siblings, and your immediate community. And all of these things could become a little bit more complex. Yeah, you need to have clearer boundaries and a stronger sense of responsibility with them. You might also become more engaged in community service and local activism, especially if you're feeling drawn to amplify overlooked or misunderstood issues. So, great time to pursue structured learning, whether through education or self study. Saturn is going to help you to build mental discipline, and Neptune is going to fuel your imagination and your vision. So take up that writing project, study a new language or a new skill, and or simply reshape your daily mental habits. So yeah, writing, blogging, podcasting, sharing your message in any way. These transits are encouraging you to refine your voice and communicate with integrity. On a side note, the third house is also being on the road. So it's all about transportation, it's about short distance travel. And Aries is quite impulsive here. The energy gets stimulating, so don't drive too fast. So avoid speeding. Don't multitask while driving. So don't look at your phone while you're driving. Don't be reckless on the road. I don't want to install fear, but it's more about learning to slow down, stay present, respect the limits of our reality. And also, yeah, if you do all of that, you're going to get more respected in your communications with others. And then you will be way better equipped to shape your environment through mindful speech and also steady, stable thinking. So, yeah, really write something impactful or teach something to others. It's really your time to cultivate this intellectual mastery with meaningful dialogue. So, let me know what's going on for you, my dear Aquarius, and I wish you the best of luck. And yes, Hannah says divine timing, and I know why, because Hannah is an Aquarius and she's gonna start podcasting. So yeah, Hannah, this is so perfect. Just go for it, and we'll all be listening. Then, last but not least, we have my dear Pisces, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Saturn is going to move into Aries and it's going to activate your second house. So it's going to bring you a deeper focus on personal finances, on your self-worth, on your values, and also on long-term stability. So yeah, really the time where you're being asked to take full ownership of your income and your resources. So whether you're already financially independent or still building towards that, Saturn is really calling you to plan, strategize, and also build smarter systems around money and also material security. So with Aries energy, there's a desire for financial independence and personal freedom, and that might come through entrepreneurship, might come through investments, or redefining how you use your existing resources. So, yeah, a big wake-up call or shift in your current income source could push you towards this new direction. But don't panic. Saturn's delays, blocks, challenges are here to help you clarify your values and really create a lasting foundation. So yeah, we know this house also speaks to your sense of worth, self-worth, and internal stability. Saturn wants you to stop tying your value to others' opinions or like others' roles that you play in their lives. Instead, this is about like grounding your own confidence in your own judgments and your own capabilities. So Neptune is also co-present in your second house, so if you've likely been feeling a bit unclear about your value or how to align your income with your deeper purpose. But Saturn brings clarity. It's gonna help you crystallize a new vision of life that really reflects your values, not society's values. So you might find yourself letting go of unnecessary spending. Materialism is gonna come up as well. And just know that yeah, it's like it's gonna really help you crystallize this new stream of income. And yeah, you don't need to feel the urge to keep up an appearance. It's not necessary. Instead, your resources will begin to flow towards what like truly enhances your life. So you will have new experiences that are going to teach you. You will find new tools to make a new income, and also new commitments that align with your integrity and financial goals as well. So this is a transit of self-reliance in your resources, discipline in your savings, and by doing that, consciously growing your resources and also your value. By growing your resources, you're growing your value. But don't let it depend on each other. Just know that your value is worth it so much without having resources. So, but in the second house, these are combined. So yeah, just know that you might need to do some short-term sacrifices. Maybe you're gonna need to spend less. Maybe you're gonna need to plan more how to get money, but in return, you'll gain true financial and emotional sovereignty. So if you're willing to put in the work, this can be a turning point in like how you support yourself materially and also emotionally, not just now, but for the years to come. And Saturn, we know he won't give you instant results, but it will help you to develop the confidence and also the competence to make your financial and personal dreams a reality. So whether you're launching a new business, changing careers, or simply trying to align your life with your values, it's yeah, you have the power to do so. So one step, one decision, one commitment at a time, and just know that you'll get there, my dear Pisces. And Claudia says, hi Astrid, looking forward to some quiet time today to listen to your message. Missed seeing, hearing you live. Many blessings at your way. Looking forward to getting another solar return reading. Hi Claudia, that's so sweet. Thank you so much for sharing. I'm looking forward to dive deep into your new solar return for this year. I'm sure it will be awesome. So, good luck, my dear Pisces. I think that was it for today. Just know that Saturn in Aries is not here to cuddle you. It's here to like forge you. And the next 3 years are really about turning discipline into direction and also turning frustration into fuel. So if you're willing to commit to what you care about most, then it will change your life, this transit. So yeah, let me know in the comments, what are you ready to like take full responsibility for? And if you've got some value from this video, give it a like, subscribe also for more astrology deep dives, and share it with someone who's ready to stop waiting and start building. And also remember that your fire is not too much, it just needs conscious direction. So thank you all so much for being here today, and I will see you back soon. Bye bye.